The greatest gift that cars give is the freedom for people to travel. Yet while you enjoy its convenience, fuel prices continue to rise. What can you do? As we wait for a revolutionary alternative energy source, scientists have continued to search for ways to use fossil fuels more effectively. One of these methods is magnetism. In this universe, the most powerful and basic force is magnetism. Everything in nature relies on magnetism. Magnetism comes from the movement of electrons within the atom, which creates a magnetic field causing what we call magnetism. Research shows magnetism can affect the arrangement of molecules. By adjusting the strength of magnetism, molecular arrangements can all be aligned. Developed by Gia photoelectric technology, the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is the best example of magnetism applied to energy conservation. Research showing that magnetism can affect liquids was first proposed by Dutch scientist Dr. van der Waals in 1910. Dr. van der Waals was awarded the Nobel Prize for this discovery. Research indicates that if hydrocarbons in petrol are subjected to magnetism of up to 6,500 Gauss in strength, their molecules will be rearranged into polar molecules. Since polar molecules carry a charge, they combine easily with oxygen in air, improving fuel efficiency. For over 10 years, we have sought for a way to save fuel without harming the engine. Through endless trials and experiments, we found more than 30 kinds of rare metals that use far infrared to provide superb activation and compounding effects. When used on fuels such as petrol and diesel, it achieves surprisingly good results. When the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator was released, Hong Kong and Taiwan's automobile industries took notice at once. A Hong Kong magazine released the first expert report. Compared with other fuel-saving products, the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator won convincingly. Apart from these media reports, certification organizations in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China have also provided testimony for the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator. They confirm that the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator does help to conserve fuel. We will now do a 100-kilometer test drive in the city and on the freeway to test the fuel-saving effect and to demonstrate that the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator activates the hydrocarbons in petrol, achieving the fuel-saving effect. For this test, we will use a car that is less than 1 year old that everyone agrees is very fuel efficient. This is the Toyota 1.5-liter Vios. First, we leave the car for an hour to make sure the car's petrol has settled. We then use a beaker to add the petrol slowly into the tank and rock the car so that petrol completely fills the tank and no petrol fumes remain. We then add the petrol slowly until it overflows the petrol port, then we rock the car before adding more petrol. This cycle continues until the petrol level does not drop anymore. We then let it stand for half an hour, then reopen the tank and add more petrol. We repeat the cycle of adding petrol slowly while gently rocking the car until the petrol level reaches the brim and does not decrease anymore. To avoid skewing the test results for the city driving test, we turned off the car's air conditioning and stereo before starting the engine. For our route, we chose to brave peak hour traffic on traffic jam-prone Geelong Road and Chengdu Road. A speed of about 20 to 30 kilometers per hour was maintained during the test. Upon returning to the start, we leave the car to stand for an hour again. Then petrol is added to the tank while the car is gently rocked until it overflows. Then the car is rocked before more petrol is added. This cycle continues until the level of petrol no longer drops. We then leave it to stand for half an hour. After half an hour, the cycle is repeated. When the level no longer drops, we calculate the kilometers traveled with the amount of petrol added. For our 45-kilometer drive in the city, the car used 6.2 liters of petrol for an average of 7.25 kilometers per liter. Now we do the 100-kilometer highway driving test. First, we go on National Freeway number 3 to the Jijin interchange where the kilometer marker is 0 kilometers. We let the car stand for an hour. After an hour, we slowly add petrol into the tank. As before, we keep rocking the car, then add petrol until the petrol level doesn't drop anymore. We then wait another half an hour. Then we open the petrol tank, we add the petrol slowly, and then we repeat the rocking motion until the petrol reaches the brim and no longer drops. We then start the engine for the 100-kilometer highway driving test. Starting from the Jijin interchange on the National Freeway number 3, we change at the Sinju interchange to National Freeway number 1 and get off at the Sinju exit. At our destination, we let the car stand for an hour again. After an hour, we add petrol slowly until it doesn't drop in level. Then we rock the car, we leave it for 30 minutes, and then repeat the above action until the level of the petrol doesn't drop any further. Once we've done that, we start calculating the kilometers and petrol added. Before using the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator, the distance was 109 kilometers. 6.3 liters of petrol was used for an average of 17.3 kilometers per liter. After working out the fuel consumption, we install the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator and let the car stand for 30 minutes, so that it can activate the molecules in the petrol. After 30 minutes, we start the engine and return to our origin by the same route. We let the car stand for an hour again. We repeat the petrol adding and rocking and then let it stand for 30 minutes. Then more petrol is added until it no longer drops in level. We then calculated the kilometers and petrol added for a distance of 108 kilometers. After using the Magic Chip fuel-saving chip accelerator, fuel consumption was 4.7 kilometers for an average of 23 kilometers per liter. This was a 32% gain in performance. The next day, we did the fuel savings test for the city driving test again. We repeat the same procedure as before. We fill up the tank, start the engine, then follow the same route and schedule for the test. Once done, we return to the origin to calculate the kilometers and petrol added. The city driving test this time was 45 kilometers as well and used 5.4 liters of petrol for an average of 8.3 kilometers per liter. Compared to before, there was a 14% gain in performance per liter. Thanks to the effect of the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator, the petrol in the car has been completely activated. By using magnetic rare metals in combination with the activating qualities of far infrared, magnetism was able to completely activate the molecules in the petrol, rearranging the hydrocarbons to improve combustion efficiency. The same amount of petrol can provide even more energy, so it naturally saves more fuel. We used another same model car to do a test on how the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator affects horsepower. The test results show that before the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator was used, there was some unevenness as engine output increased. This leads to wasting fuel, but once we install the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator, the power increase became obviously more even. This shows that once the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is used to activate the petrol molecules, power output is stabilized, improving fuel efficiency. Our center's research into using magnetism to enhance the hydrocarbons and combustion efficiency has been underway for some time. The reason why it saves fuel is because it uses special metals and the activation qualities of far infrared to make the hydrocarbon compounds in petrol become nanotized and the molecules activated. So in a short period of time, they are rearranged to have ideal catalyzing and absorption qualities, making petrol combust even more completely. To further test the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator and its fuel-saving effect, we asked the Taipei University of Technology to put it through a series of trials. First, we set the engine's revolution and torque. The revolution is set to around 1800 and the torque to around 40. After the engine has been running for 20 minutes, we begin testing. If the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is not installed, how much time does it take to use up 50 cubic centimeters of fuel? The test result was 1 minute 19.31 seconds. The amount of emitted nitroxide was 748 parts per million. The smoke index was 50%, with carbon oxides at 38. Once done, we install the Magic Chip to the side of the petrol tank and leave it there for 30 minutes so it can activate the fuel inside the petrol tank. After 30 minutes, we do the test again using the same steps. The test showed that 50 cc's of petrol could be used for 1 minute 23.88 seconds, an extra 4 seconds. Let's look at the other data. Nitroxide emissions were 705 parts per million, the smoke level was 39.3%, and carbon oxides were 26. By using the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator, not only is fuel consumption reduced, but polluting emissions are also reduced. Reducing the amount of air pollution emitted greatly lowers carbon and slag buildup in the engine, reducing damage. Compared to other similar products, the Magic Chip not only saves fuel and protects the engine, but also has the following 10 features. 1. It reduces fuel consumption and increases torque. It keeps the combustion chamber and spark plugs clean, and it improves combustion efficiency. It saves up to 40% of fuel and greatly enhances engine power and torque. Second, shifting is easy, reducing noise, be it uphill, starting on a slope, or going through curves. These can all be done with ease. It can also stabilize the engine air intake so the engine runs smoother and with less noise. Third, horsepower increases and the accelerator is lighter. Unstable stalling is overcome and acceleration delay is reduced. 4. There are 3 major guarantees: up to 40% savings in fuel, up to 15% increase in horsepower, and up to 40% decrease in exhaust emissions. 5. Strict quality control and safety assured. The Magic Chip is unlike other products that add alcohol to petrol and is guaranteed not to damage the engine. 6. It eliminates carbon buildup and reduces exhaust emissions. 7. It is easy to install and requires no modification. 8. It is a high-technology product. It uses Nano Pham infrared magnetism technology, and it is the driving world's choice for fuel savings. 9. Many uses. It can be used in many applications, such as activating molecules in drinking water and alcohol. 10. Long period of use. Unlike ordinary auto products with short lifespans, the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator can be used for up to 5 years, and it is designed for the average consumer. It's easy to install since you just put it on top of the fuel tank. If the chassis doesn't allow that, simply put it on the dashboard. Installing the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator doesn't require any advanced skills. The average consumer can read the manual and easily install it him or herself. The Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator has been tested by Hong Kong's Option magazine, a well-respected car buyer's guide. They discovered that its fuel-saving power was indeed superior to products from other companies. Hong Kong, Thailand, China, and Taiwan all have test reports that show no matter what kind of car is used, the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator can achieve amazing savings in fuel. If you want the petrol to combust completely, it's easy to add substances containing alcohol to the petrol. But this is very damaging to the engines and can be called suicide by chronic poisoning. In the field of auto fuel efficiency, we are proud to say that so far we lead the world. This is because we use over 30 kinds of magnetic rare metals, which use far infrared to activate fuel molecules and further nanotize them. As this process is based completely on physics, it is guaranteed not to damage the engine. Using the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is thus the correct and effective way to save fuel. The Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator comes in 3 models for different models and engine displacements. S1 for use with normal sedans. Simply install the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator on top of the fuel tank or somewhere close to the fuel tank. S2. It can be used on normal sedans or on large commercial vehicles such as tour buses and trucks. In addition to the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator, an extra high magnetic performance miniature Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is also included. For tour buses, simply install the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator on top of the fuel tank. The miniature Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is installed on the vehicle's air filter. For trucks, the Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is installed in front of the driver's seat. The miniature Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is then installed on the truck's air filter. The S3 is intended for motorcyclists. Simply using one miniature Magic Chip fuel-saving accelerator is enough to achieve fuel savings.